This week in church, we've been thinking about the life of St. Luke as we celebrated his feast day. Luke is known as the beloved physician and was a companion of St. Paul, even spending some time with him in prison. Two of the books of the New Testament are believed to have been written by St. Luke. There is the Gospel, which bears his name, and there is also the Acts of the Apostles. And the Gospel of St. Luke is one of my favourite Gospel accounts because it is in that Gospel that we have such great hymns of social justice, such as the Magnificat, when Mary proclaims, "The mighty will be cast down and the poor and the lowly will be lifted up." We also get in St. Luke's Gospel that story from the beginning of Jesus' ministry when he goes to Nazareth, the place where he grew up. He is given the scroll of the prophet Isaiah to read in the synagogue, and he opens it and he reads, "The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because he has anointed me. He has sent me to bring good news to the poor. He sent me to bring sight to the blind, release to the captives, and to proclaim the year of the Lord's favour." Now, although these parts of Luke's Gospel are really important, what I want to think about today is who Luke sends his Gospel and his Acts of the Apostles to. In the opening verses of both these books, Luke addresses someone called Theophilus. Now, many scholars have argued long and hard about who Theophilus might be, but I don't think that is important because ultimately no two scholars are agreeing on who Theophilus is. What I think is important is what the word Theophilus means. Theophilus, as a name, is made up of two words. There is theos and there is philos. Theos is God and philos is love. So this is someone who loves God. However, it's not quite as simple as just saying someone who loves God. Theophilus means someone who loves God as a friend. And this is a relationship which goes back to the very beginnings of the Bible. In the book of Exodus, chapter 33, we read that Moses spoke to God as a friend. And then later on, in the letter of James, Abraham is described as being a friend of God. When we're friends with someone, we want to spend time with them. We want to know more about them. And this is, I think, key to understanding the Christian faith. Now, there are many people who have this view of God as being that old man sat on that cloud way, way, way away. But that's not what the Christian faith is about. Now, Christmas is getting scarily close. At the heart of Christmas is a message that God comes and lives as one of us. God becomes available to us. He's not that distant old man with the beard on the cloud. He is here and now. In John's Gospel, we read, "The Word became flesh and lived among us." But it's not quite as simple as that in the original Greek. In Greek, John says that God pitches his tent and lives with us. God is moving into the neighbourhood. God becomes our next door neighbour. And if God is our next door neighbour, that means he can be our friend. That means that we too can become Theophilus, the one who loves God as a friend.